Hello and welcome to the show. I am here today at the bajarama circuit driving 3 more vehicles till destruction. And we start off with a, vehicle that is normally doing the destroying because we have got a monster truck. Yeah, it's pretty damn impressive, this monster truck, I have got to say. And as far as, survivability goes, in theory at least, this should be pretty damn good. Let's face it, it is designed for crushing of cars and doing incredible stunts. The bajarama circuit should hold no fear for it. However, off-road vehicles and their suspension have got into trouble in the past around here. So, should be interesting to see if, how this survives. I've also just noticed the fuel gauge. Whoa! I love the way that this, I've got a little bit distracted. I love the way that this mod deals with the suspension. It is actually incredibly accurate to the way that you see monster trucks. I don't know a huge amount about monster trucks. I've seen a few Monster Jam episodes on TV, I guess you could call it. A few of the competitions around. But, yeah, it looks impressive. It looks exactly how I'd expect monster truck suspension to react to these bumps. So far, and so good, really, for our vehicle. No major problems. It's not snapping anything. It's bouncing a little bit, but it is designed to bounce. Oh, dear, although it's now going to bounce into a ditch ever so slightly. That's putting a lot of force on the front, and we've gone for a little bit of a spin. I think it's okay. Just a small spin. We will get it back round again. We didn't snap anything. We've done a little bit of damage to the, I guess, body. Ooh. In fact, actually, we have done some suspension damage because the truck is now tipping a little bit on the front. The front right is slightly broken. The way that we went across radiator springs. I mean, yeah, radiator and so on is very well protected in this. Unless we roll the monster truck, I don't think we're going to have any real issues. But the suspension, I don't know how strong the wheels are, how likely the wheels are to snap off on here. This motocross section is going to test it because it's just repeated smacks on the floor, and that's never. Ooh, we've got a wobbly rear axle. That's not the sight you want to see on your monster truck as you're going across these. Thankfully, while the rear axle is moving, the wheels are so big and the actual suspension itself is still working enough to kind of survive everything for now. Yeah, I don't know how strong the wheels are, whether we will see a wheel ping off of this. Again, from my brief experience of watching Monster Jams and so on, the wheels can fall off these quite easily. They'll carry on sometimes if they've only got 3 wheels. That's also incredible stunts. Come on, keep going. No, not incredible with the stunts. Not incredible with the stunts at all there. It's still going. In true monster truck fashion. Well, that answered my question about the wheels. Oh, I was having too much fun with the wheelies and the stunts and so on, and well, now we're a 3-wheeled monster truck. Amazingly, it's not really hindering it that much. In fact, it's not really hindering it at all, apart from the roly, tumbly truck. Come on, there we go, we're fine. We've lost bits of bodywork. However, yeah, we're still good. We are still good with the kind of size of the wheels. It means that, certainly when we're on power, the fact that we're missing one at the front, it's lifted up off the ground. Sorry, I can English sentence just about. Oh, don't scrape the hay bales. They will cause a lot of issues for our vehicle. The bigger concern, though, is the fuel tank. The fuel tank is precariously low. In fact, this might not make, or it might not make this corner very easily. It will get round it, though. This might not make it onto its 3rd lap because it's run out of fuel. Not the fact that it's lost a wheel, although we might lose another one if we do that too much. Oh, there goes the last of the bodywork. We're down to a shell now. Oh dear, the front left wheel is in trouble. The front left wheel is in a world of trouble. There, that's more than just collapse. That's more than just the, yeah. Okay, right, we're gonna be in a bit of trouble there. I can't quite see what's snapped. At the end of the day, even if we lose that front wheel, of course we've got rear wheel steer. And we will be then just rear wheel drive. I don't know how long it could carry on with just rear wheel steer. That would be an interesting thing. Come on, make it around here. The fuel is probably going to be, or the fuel consumption is going to be a little bit better because I'm now actually not able to drive particularly fast because of the issue. Oh, it looks like the entire front axle is now no longer really connected to the chassis. Oh, it is. It's not. It's not connected to the chassis, or it's connected to the midpoint of the chassis. All of the other supporting arms have come off. So that's interesting. There we go. I mean, that's a way to drive. Tell you what, this is a lot more spectacular than I thought it was going to be. This is my new favourite thing, I think, that has got it. It may be even more so than the flappy wheels per Zima. I don't even know. How am I going to write you? How on earth are we going to get the truck back onto its wheels when it's as buckled up as this? Okay. Now, come back down. There we go. Behave yourself now, monster truck. Okay. So, the issue is because I have now front axle isn't connected to the front of the chassis, we want to wheelie, and then the front wheel folds underneath the truck. That is a new failure. However this thing goes out, I suspect it is going to be for a unusual reason, and a reason that we may well never see again. Come on, truck. We can maybe make it back around this course. We've got to get back on the track at some point. It would be disappointing if this goes out because of just a loss of steering. I mean, we may actually end up losing the entire front axle across these motocross jumps now. The issue is that it's folding underneath every time we get airborne, and I fear we're going to land it a little bit awkwardly, and then snap goes the wheel. But we will have to wait and see. And okay, no, things are going well for now. The fuel is very nearly out. It might just make it onto its third lap, as we are bouncing around very, very precariously. I'm amazed that it was only the in that tumble, it was only the wheel that kind of was the issue. We didn't kind of snap anything other important, I guess. And I'm amazed how drivable this is, all things considered. Now we're going to bounce. Don't twist. Bugger. Come on, truck. Let's get over. Oh, this is a real bugger to try and write. If I didn't have to have both my hands on the keyboard to try and... Oh, no, don't grab that. I don't want to pull that off. That's kind of important. I would try and, with the steering, help the thing get over. Because it's not the easiest. Of all the vehicles that we've had to try and lift over, this one here, one of the more awkward ones. But there we go. Right, truck, climb back up onto the course we go. Truck, if we could actually, do what I'm asking you to, that would be kind of helpful. Now... We are going to sort this one out, as it was me writing it that caused the issues here, rather than the truck running out of steering. And it is only fair if it gets righted wonkily. We're going to have to just reverse, I think. There's a reverse. Oh, possibly get it off of the edge of the map. There we go. Right, it's fine. Yeah, we've done it before. If I've righted it and it's ended up pointing somewhere that we have to then grab reverse to correct it, it's fine. As if it physically cannot make the corner because of wrecked steering, we have to get reverse. Then that is when we count a vehicle as having failed. It does look like we're going to make it onto a third lap. Use that wheel to try and balance the truck. Oh, I don't know what damage we've done in that movement, though. Has the front wheel actually now got a little bit wedged into the chassis? That would be... Nope, it's become unwedged if it was wedged. Oh! We've made it onto the third lap, but we've run out of fuel. And that's it. That's all there is for the monster truck. It has just rolled its way onto lap 3. But there is to be no more for monster truck. Amazingly, despite all the suspension issues and the lost wheel, it is the fuel. The fuel consumption in the monster truck is so astronomical that, yeah, couldn't make it any further. Well, it is a unique failure, and I'll tell you what, it was one hell of a spectacle getting this, this thing around the bajarama circuit. That was, yeah, different. Very, very different. Up next, we have got the Hopper. We've got the classic version of the Hopper, but as you can see, it is, well, far from normal. This is a limo. However, it's not just a normal limo. Apparently, this can be split in half. Now, I am fearing for this poor car, as it's takes on the bajarama, because I'm not sure it's going to survive massively. Oh, there's a little bit of lag going on there, but never mind. Not sure it's going to survive a massive amount of time around this the course. The hopper was notoriously bouncy when it went out last time. I don't know how this limo version is going to fare. It is considerably heavier, I would imagine. We might not have quite as much bouncing, but well, there's a lot of things that can go wrong with this vehicle. I have given it the bigger of the two engines. This has got the 4-litre not flat six, sorry, 4-litre inline six, as opposed to the I think it's 2.5-litre i4 that it could come with, just to give it some chance, some little bit of speed to make it a bit more interesting to drive for me, and it means that it might actually make it around the course for a little bit longer. Although it does also mean that because we are going to go a tad faster, we are tending to have a bit bigger impacts. That's not looking good for the chassis. Uh-oh. The limo's in trouble. The limo is in quite a lot of trouble. There is a big hole in the floor. Now, I would not be feeling confident if I was in the back. It's now essentially the front of a hopper dragging the rear of a hopper as a trailer. Oh, that's... that's going to cause so many issues. I am amazed at how well it is still moving. I am absolutely astounded how well it is still moving. I mean, theoretically, we could lose... Like, if this does get fully snapped in half, I don't quite know. When I say splittable, I don't quite know how much it is going to be splittable. Like, if it does just have the front end come free, we could drive it around with just, you know, 2 wheels at the front, I guess. But well, there is also the big drive shaft going down to the rear that, again, probably shouldn't have been surviving. I mean, if you look how much this is flexing down here, it probably shouldn't be surviving that. Ooh! Ow, ow, ow. That's not so good, is it now? We have got away with it. We have got away with it. Everything is buckled. Basically, everything is buckled in this Jeep. Oh, that's not going to go well. We're twisting the back. The back's really doing its own thing at the moment, and somehow that is the... So we've seen the Barstow with the world's weakest glass drive shaft. This has got a bendy drive shaft, and it is still working. I am not sure on the physics of all of that. However, that's apparently how this thing works. We are, I guess, kind of protecting the... Oh, we almost got tipped over by the rear. We are kind of protecting the rear of this, as all of the hits are going to the front. The back is just flailing about, and amazingly, we are going to complete our first lap. I feel like this might get itself beached at some point around the course with all of this damage. The side panel is kind of flapping its way free. That's hardly too important. And this is a real test for the front half of the hopper, because it's constantly being smacked into these jumps, the steering, and the... Whoa, that was a... When did that fall? I didn't actually notice that fall off. It just came skidding across the road in front of me. Okay, well, this is a definitely one for the spectacle, as more bits are falling off what's left of the hopper limo. If we get rid of that other side panel, then it'll be... well, complete. The transformation will indeed be complete here. Yeah, we're just smashing the front up, but it is a testament again to the strength of the engine, strength of the steering, and the front suspension, that it is still working as well as... I mean, it's still... Somehow it's all-wheel drive. I'm not sure that should be counting, but there we go. Okay, across some more jumps we go. Radiator Springs should be fun. In fact, Radiator Springs is probably what's going to cause the most damage to this. The rest of it just doesn't seem to be affecting the car at all around here. Towards Radiator Springs we go. Are we going to be quick enough? I fear we're going to get bounced around too much. I mean, at least the back of the truck is on the road. Oh, that's not good. That's not good at all. Oh, there goes the drive shaft to the rear is now gone, finally. Let's face it, that should have gone lap 1. So, we are now essentially, yeah, the front of a hopper dragging the rear of a hopper as a trailer. How much longer can this go on? I do not know. We've actually needed to change up a gear as well. That's probably not a good idea. Oh, come on. Now, how will the front drive... And the front drive shaft is the big concern here. We've lost one and we can get away with one. Let's face it, I don't think the back was actually doing a huge amount. I say that, we are now driving quite terribly. I suspect most of the time the wheels were off the ground, not really helping, but for the bits that they were helping, it was quite useful. Oh, bloody hell, this is not a, now not a good condition Jeep, and it's now... the way it's being tugged around by the rear. If we'd lost the back of it, it would be better than what we've got at the moment, having to try and drag the dead weight around that's at a very awkward angle and is pulling us about. Although, we may well make it. You know, these motocross jumps aren't really, and I shouldn't speak too soon, but the motocross jumps aren't really hurting this too much. Why did I have to go and say something? It survived so long. It had survived so long and so much punishment, and why was it that one that got rid of... I was thinking that was going to make it all the way to Radiator Springs and then probably have a drive shaft issue for the front or lose a wheel. Hell, the engine is incredibly tough. I mean, the front of this Jeep, in fact, if we ignore the fact that the back's wrecked, the front barely is damaged whatsoever. That is incredibly tough suspension and chassis and engine and radiator and all of that. It was let down by, well, drive shafts letting go. The rear, it didn't last long as a limo. It fell apart pretty damn quickly. The rear drive shaft held on for quite some time, but sort of inevitable, really, that was going to snap, and, well, motocross section would kill the front drive shaft, and, well, yeah, nowhere for the surprisingly still healthy engine to send its power. Not quite as spectacular as the monster truck in some ways, but still, I think, a worthy sight around the bajarama course. And finally, we have got the Satsuma. This, though, a different body style and a different engine. We've got an estate car variant, and it is powered by a rotary engine. Admittedly, I think a little bit of work needed with the sound. However, yes, we have got a very different sort of engine in this one. Now, if we lose the radiator, it'll probably overheat in about 3, maybe 4 seconds at best. So, we don't want to be losing the radiator in the car. However, the Satsuma, well, last time did very well. The Satsuma kept going for quite some time. In the end, it was a twisted, sort of a completely twisted steering rack that did the car in. It couldn't steer to the right, I think it was. Basically, full right lock was the car essentially going straight. So, yeah, that's not quite what you want to have happen. Oh, carefully does it. In the Satsuma, nothing majorly broken. I do remember the vehicle itself was an incredibly tough car. Aside from the steering rack being twisted over time, the rest of it did hold together quite well. There's some fire. That's not so good. Guys, there's a small bit of fire and I don't quite know why. Why is our engine caught fire? That's not a normal fire either for the... Well, I say that a normal fire. It tends to be a fuel tank rupture that is the cause of the fires. The game doesn't tell you when it's one of these engine fires what it is that's gone. We have had it a couple of times before. Oh, come on now, car. That's not so good. We've got issues at the front as well. The front axle itself is quite wobbly. I think probably lost the front suspension at some point. Oh, oversteer bad. Oh, oversteer really bad. Oversteer really bad in this car. I think we've still got steering, though. Have we still got steering? Yeah, both wheels are still functioning. This rear-wheel drive Satsuma is stupid. It's just it's so oversteery. Now everything is very, very twisted from that impact on radiator springs. In fact, the entire front end is at an awkward angle. My bigger concern is we're having issues with oversteer. As I'm trying to get on the power, the car's just braking sideways. I'm having issues with oversteer before we lose, well, potentially the rear tyres. Whether we're going to make it far enough to lose the rear tyres, I don't know. And how quickly the fire is going to spread through the car, again, I don't know. When we lose the rear tyres, though, we lose all of our traction. And then we're going to be crawling around, potentially, with steering issues. It's not going to go too well. Come on, get round, get round, get round, get round, get round. We really need to make up as much ground as we possibly can before the flames engulf the car, which they're starting to do. Okay, well, we're not going to make it that far before the flames engulf the car. Oh, enjoy the precious momentum while we still have it, because, well, the right-hand side of the car is kind of on fire. The left-hand side doesn't look too bad at the moment. Oh, it doesn't drive well. It's not driving well at the moment, and it's got all of its tyres and only slightly bent steering. Oh, god damn it, this thing. Having been trying to pick up a monster truck to then try and pick up the very, very light Satsuma, It's, oh dear, the entire car's gone. The entire car's gone, my steering's broken, the traction is horrendously bad in that it just spins the rear wheels constantly, so I've got to be mega careful there. And we've got a driving fireball once more. That's great. That's just perfect. There are spectacles, and I'm hoping today's episode... Oops. Well, there was a very vicious flick. Oh, we've lost tyres already. This isn't good. This isn't good at all. Both the front tyres are gone, so we've now not got much steering because we've not got much tyre grip. Combined, not much steering with a wrecked steering rack, and it's not great. The fire is so noisy. The fire is so noisy. Oh, and there go both of our rear tyres. There goes any hope of any traction ever. Oh dear. I would like to look at the damage that has been done to the roof of the car. That was from me. That was from the node grabber. It was only at 30% strength, so I'm really surprised that it's done that much damage. Oh, the front. Yeah, the steering rack again is causing issues on the Satsuma. The rest of the vehicle not too bad. I fear if we end up in the ditch at Radiator Springs, we might really struggle to get out of it. With the traction in this car. Now, I've only ever actually had one vehicle fail because of traction issues, and admittedly that was the Soilad with one-wheel drive, and that got stuck trying to go up a hill. This falls in the ditch. Depends on how it falls in the ditch. It might get out, but if it falls in the ditch the wrong way, we might not have the steering or the traction to get the car out again. Hell, if it hits the kind of landing of Radiator Springs and flies over the other side, that's probably the best that we can hope for, is that we hit the landing and bounce clear of Radiator Springs. The issue is we hit the landing, and I think we're just going to twist the steering rack more. I think it's we're pulling so badly to the left. I'm not quite at the point where I'm having to hold right to get it to go in a straight line, but we are really not far away from that. And then the second I take away the steering, we go over here. We do actually need to get this back on course. We've never had a car fail at this particular point before. We have just about enough steering to rectify that, but we are talking just. Oh dear. I think it's going to make Radiator Springs, and that's going to kill it. I think it's going to make it to Radiator Springs, because I'm not sure we can even go fast enough to damage the car anymore around here. That's how broken it is. Well, it's going to crunch and bang its way across there, but it's not really going to do much. Yeah, I can just get some steering to the right, but it is the tiniest fraction. The good news for this over the standard Satsuma is because of the rotary power, because of the rear-wheel drive and so on, we can get away with steering it with the rear slightly, but it's only just sort of a job. It's better than better than some of the other cars that we've gone through, because we can still turn to the right to an extent, but it's not great. It's not great news for the Satsuma, and it's not very nice to drive. I can't even get it away from the hay bales. That's how wonky the steering is. Yeah, it's not great fun to drive this car now. It's not even entertaining in some ways to drive, because it's just slow because I'm fighting the steering. I mean, it looks entertaining, do not get me wrong. We've got a giant fireball again that I wasn't expecting to have, but it's so terribly difficult just to keep this thing going in a straight line that yeah, it's not as spectacularly funny as the monster truck with 3 wheels. I will say that much. It's quite difficult to beat the spectacular monster truck with 3 wheels. However, there we go. Come on, Radiator Springs for baby victory. I know that's not good. That's not good at all. I think I've seen what that's done to the car, and I don't know if we've got any steering left. That looks pretty heavy on the landing. Yeah, it's done exactly the same thing as the previous Satsuma. In fact, actually, full steering to the right still has the front right wheel pointing left. That's just going to go straight, isn't it? Yeah, there is no saving that. No amount of no amount of handbrake and power is going to rescue that one. I did think that would be what would kill it in the end. I just can't get any speed. That was about as good a approach to Radiator Springs as I could get, all things considered. Couldn't get any speed in the Satsuma whatsoever. Tyres gone, traction in the down the toilet, and it was bad to begin with, and there we go. Before I do finish, though, we will let's extinguish the fires on the car. Now that the run is over, I just wanted to see what I'd done to the roof. There we go. That was just a simple node grabber as well, just trying to pick the damn car up. Yeah, and then you can see how bent the steering rack is there at the front. That's neutral on the steering. That's how broken the entire car is. Well, there we go. Is it kind of a shame that the fire doesn't do other damage? At least I don't think it does. In all of our tests and all the cars that have got around here so far, it's only ever taken out tyres. I don't know if you leave it long enough if it takes out other parts. That's why I don't extinguish the fire while it's still going around. But the Satsuma has very much died a death. It was slow and painful, but it was another fireball to to drive around our bajarama course. So, on to our results, and the best vehicle of the lot would be the monster truck. It goes into 25th place, running out of fuel pretty much as it crossed the line. To start its third lap, it does beat the Volkswagen Fox, the all-wheel drive K-Series. Fails, though, to beat the Pazima Diesel, the Square Grand Marshal. It was a hell of a show, though. I will give the monster truck credit for putting on one hell of a spectacular show. Really, really cool mod. I recommend all of these mods that go on, but that monster truck in particular is amazing suspension work done on that. And of course, monster truck, the most important thing is to get the suspension work right, and yeah, that's a hell of a mod. The Hopper Limo actually does do fairly well. For such a ridiculous vehicle to make it on to its second lap, I think it's not too bad going. It goes into 30th place, breaking down just a fraction before the H15 van. It beats the off-road Moonhawk, the 8x8 utility truck. Yeah, in the end, not too surprising with the way that started falling apart, that the drive shafts would be the cause of failure. We have to go a little bit further down to find the rotary Satsuma. Interestingly, the Hopper Limo beating the standard Hopper as well. That's down in 49th place. So, yeah, good showing from that. The rotary Satsuma in 45th place. Exactly the same failure as the previous Satsuma, although admittedly a lot more fire with the, with the rotary. It was radiator springs that killed the steering. And in the case of the rotary, it killed the steering and the car sort of veered off in a different way, whereas the earlier Satsuma, it couldn't get around the hairpin in the end. It came across radiator springs, landed straighter, but yeah, couldn't make the hairpin. That, though, is going to be it for this episode. As ever, I shall link all the mods used in the description so you can download them, have a go with them yourself. But thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.